what specific aspects of Western democracies, liberal democracies in general, and of course, American democracy in particular, do you think are in the most danger? What are the biggest troubles you're seeing right now?
So one trouble is the one that's been alluded to already in the introductions, and which I've been writing about for a good number of years, which is the rise of authoritarian populists who do not care about the most fundamental rules of liberal democracy, of our constitutional republics, and who therefore are putting in danger the very survival of our political institutions. I started to warn about this before it was cool in 2014 and 2015, but I think we've learned over the course of the last years just what that means in concrete terms. It remains remarkable to me that the United States has now had an election in which the outgoing president did not recognize the legitimacy of the outcome and tried as best he could to subvert the peaceful transfer of power. And we're headed towards an election in 2024 in which we might end up in a genuine constitutional crisis because it is at least possible that some governors and secretaries of state will look at the popular vote in their state. And if Democrats win on that, they will go with whatever spurious claims are made about voter fraud to send a slate of Republican electors to the Electoral College anyway. And it's really not clear what happens next. So this is a very, very concerning development. So that's one thing to be pessimistic about. And another thing to be clear about is that democracies are deeply shaped by their histories, and that in particular American democracy is of course shaped by the centuries of racial and other forms of exclusion that have, among other things, characterized the country. And that this continues to lead to a number of important injustices and forms of discrimination that persist today. I don't know how long you want me to go on, but the third thing is just that what we're actually trying to do in the United States at the moment, and that's really at the core of a book that I've just published of The Great Experiment, is something really historically novel. And that is that a lot of democracies like the United States were founded when they were already quite diverse, but one group held significant power and others were excluded in extreme ways. Other democracies like Germany, where I grew up, was very homogeneous at the moment of its founding, in part because of the grave injustices of the first half of the 20th century, of the Holocaust and the expulsions and other things. And as a result, we really don't have much of a historical precedent for building deeply ethnically and religiously diverse democracies that actually treat all of their citizens, or try to treat most of their citizens, as true equals. And in my book, I chronicle the various reasons why that is a very hard undertaking, why it's actually really, really difficult to do that.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have historical cases of large, diverse democracies working out well. We just don't have them. So we can't look to history and be optimistic. And in fact, it may be worse than that, because as you note in your writings, democratic institutions can do as much to exacerbate as to alleviate